Hi guys, back again. So soon. Right.
Welcome back everyone.
Thanks for all the views on the last video. The how-to series that I'm doing a little bit of. I've done the carbide ones and the carbide one and another carbide one. I've done 6 I think.
Six, yeah.
Showing all the different things to do with it. There's a lot more, but for basics, to basically get started. And then I've done the last one, I've done a bit of with the traditional, doing the spindle gouge and bowl gouge. So I thought I'd do another little bit with the traditional, but this one I'm going to do as a roughing down, but not roughing down bowls. This is for roughing down spindles, which a lot of people do get in a lot of trouble when roughing down spindles. And I'm not talking about all small spindles. We're going to go through some different pieces here, and I'll show you how I will deal with those, and it might be helpful to you. Okay. So now, first off, I always say best tool for roughing down pieces, spindles and things like that, all these squares like this, squares like that, okay, and even when it comes to pieces like this, spindle, roughing gouge. A roughing gouge is the best thing, okay. Now a lot of people get mistaken between a spindle gouge and a spindle roughing gouge. These are spindle roughing gouges, okay. They have a very big U-shaped flute, okay. Now that has a fantastic advantage, but it can also have a very big disadvantage, okay, in the fact of how much wood this thing can grab hold of and remove. That's why you never use it on bowls and things like that, okay. It's, yes, I know everyone will tell you the tang. Look, if you're using your tool properly, the tang will never ever become an issue to you, okay. People that have broken tangs or bent tangs have been doing something stupid and doing something they shouldn't be doing with that tool. It's not for that, that's their fault, okay. We leave them to get on with what this is. A very famous man once said, stupid is as stupid does. There you go. Right, so they come in all different sizes. We've got down to this size, you know, I mean, I've got from 2 inch down to what you would say is a 1 inch. This is actually classed as a 3/4 19 mil, okay, because yeah, us in the UK, we measure this bit here, okay. Everyone else around the world probably measures this here, and it would be a 1 inch, but
we got to be different.
Got to be different, okay. And of course we have to put on 3/4 inch and 19 mil, because you know you have to be in with everyone, don't you? Right, now spindle gouges, right, as I've shown you before, spindle gouges are these. Totally different ball game altogether, okay. Yes, you can quite happily use these on bowls. Their strength wise is no different to a bowl gouge or any other gouge, okay, but obviously you have to use them correctly. So what we're going to talk about today is a spindle roughing gouge. Now obviously you need a way to sharpen it, because even if you love all your carbide and you love your carbide, I still would 100% recommend a roughing gouge for roughing down pieces, okay. It is quick, it is easy, it's efficient. Now with small pieces like this and mounting, I'll just go between 2 step centers, and I wouldn't even worry about finding center so much, unless the piece of wood size is absolutely critical for you, okay. I would just judge it for center, 2 step centers, there we go, right. And a piece like this is what, 5 inches, 5 inches by 2 inches square, okay. So with a piece like this, bring your tool rest. Now again, tool rest always as close as you can get it, okay. So just turn the piece there, it's just going to hit there, that's perfect, right, as close as you can get it. Now when you come in with your roughing gouge, now you might not have big roughing gouges, small, what you can get is up to you. The first thing you're going to have to do when you get your roughing gouge is you're going to have to learn to sharpen it. I'll talk a little bit on that in a minute, okay. I just want to do a very quick here of how I approach roughing down spindles. Now these, like 2 inch, 3 inch spindles, they can turn very fast. They're between centers, they're not going nowhere. You've got nice square cut ends, step centers are perfect. If it gets a catch, if you do something wrong, it will stop, okay. Now what I will do, I'll put my face shield on, and I'm just going to very quickly, you've seen me do it loads of times, but some people haven't, so I'm going to very quickly just do a quick rough down on this, okay? So I'm going to start up, just step to the side like that, just in case, you never know, it might want to fly off. There, it's spinning up, everything is okay. Now, you'll hear it said a lot about this, put the tool there, okay, and rub the bevel, put the bevel on, and then raise the handle. Right, now, the one problem with that, and it's a big problem, okay, when you rub the bevel and you raise the handle, the minute you've done that, you've taken the bevel completely away, it's out of the picture, and you are just cutting on this tip. Now, I can still hold my handle down because I've got a very steep grind. Most people would say they'd go for probably a 45 degree or something. It's not as steep as that, right? So when you raise that handle, you'll be about here. So when these come down, they're not on a supported cut. There is no bevel control whatsoever, because you can't ride the bevel on these sharp corners like that, okay? And what's going to happen is, as soon as you take the bevel off, it's coming on here. Now you can see, look, what's going to happen, right? It wants to bash. So if you're going to get a catch, that's where you're going to get it, okay? And if you happen to have your tool rest over a little bit, it's going to be exaggerated even more. And this, hold your handle down here and here, and lift up. That's where you'll have troubles. And like I said, this is for people who have done this for years and they've got used to what they're doing. That's fine. You keep, if you're happy with what you're doing, you keep doing it. If you don't get catches, keep doing it. What you do is up to you. If you're getting problems with it, then that could be your problem. Right, I have a very steep grind. The reason being, the tool stays sharp for like forever. It does so much work before I need to sharpen it again. Okay, now for me, it's spinning, right? So now I'm not going to do this. First thing is, how do I hold my chisel? I hold my chisel. Now you can do it right-handed or you can do it left-handed. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it left-handed because it's easier for you to see in the camera. Right, my finger is just here, okay, behind the ferrule and just on the base of the chisel, okay, and my thumb, you can put your thumb in, but I normally put it just to the side. That's my hold, okay. I come on to my tool rest and I keep my tool angled down. This hand is just going to push a bit of pressure on here and stop the chips from flying at me. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come on. Now there's no cut in there, so I'll go there. Now that's about where it's going to cut. Now all I do is I go a back cut, okay? Right, a back cut like that. So why do I do a back cut? The reason being, if you come on and you do a push cut, and most people will tell you to start here in the middle and go that way and then go that way. Now the trouble with that, when you come in and you do a push cut, if there's a crack in this wood or anything, that will hook under it and flick it straight off. If you do a back cut, it doesn't happen. What it does is it flattens everything down, and I don't have to start from the middle, I can start from the end. Because again, if you start from the end here and there happens to be a crack, it will get in there and it will flick, a complete side of that wood will come off. If you go backwards, you can start here, look, like this, and just you'll find it there and just go back. Now forward, back, and forward. Now, very quickly, within literally a couple of cuts, I've got a place for my bevel to go. Now I don't raise the handle. To pick up the cut, this is why what I do, you can see I've got this slight curve. I drop my wings down. A lot of people have a roughing gouge and they will have it, oh, there we go, straight over like that, okay? So it's straight right across there, and they'll have this sort of angle on it. See, this is one I picked up. I've never used it. I bought this and I've got it as a spare. It's not been used yet. I haven't. So that's how it come from the person I bought it from. Okay. Now, the trouble with that, when that's on there, no matter where I rotate it, I've got the same thing. Okay. So when I rotate it round, whichever way I come, I'm still only got this straight edge. Okay, so I'm there and I'm here, and then if you raise your handle, I'm going to be in a straight mode. Okay, and that's not bad because I've had this for about 8-9 years and I've never sharpened it yet. I don't use it yet. It's a spare, the same as this one. Now, why the hell Crown decided to put a handle that long on a roughing gouge, I have no idea, but there you go. But this one's the same. Haven't used it yet. Okay, it's just a spare. One day I might need it. Right, so I drop my edges down like this. You can see the slope. Right, that means when my bevel's done, because now it's not round. Let me show you. It's not by any means perfectly round yet. Look, I've still got these flats. Okay, but I've got a nice round bit there. But and this has got, look, it's actually quite good because this has got cracks in it. But I ain't got to show no concern whatsoever because of the way I'm cutting. Right, so if I put my tool on here, that's my bevel, my handle's nicely down. If anything gives a catch, because I'm not here, I can't be pulled down. If I get a catch here, I can only be pushed back. That's why I hold it nice and light. If I get a catch, it just pushes me away. It won't try and pull me down there. So all I have to do here, bevel's on, rotate, because I've got this slope. Once the bevel's on, I rotate, it picks up a cut. And now you can see the cut is coming on this part here, and I'm already angled, so I've got a skew cut. It's like having a skew, and I can push back and forwards with it. Look. And as it starts to get completely round, what will happen is you'll go from chips, small chips, to curls, and then it will go to bigger shaving. Now this is bone dry, this is dry wood, okay? It's just coming to round. So now again, look, I can fit my finger in there. So even with a tool as big as this, okay, I do not want to be overhanging. I want my tool rest in. And for beginners, you want your tool rest in. There's no chance this tool can ever pull down there, and an absolute impossibility that any piece of wood with this as this close as this could ever damage that tang. You would never get enough leverage on here when it's only there, okay? And now look, I come in, there's my bevel, and this is how easy it is, look. Okay? And the shaving will just start to get like these, it's breaking because they're dry. And that's it, look. Right, and we can just rough it, we can keep going until we end up with a toothpick. But that's not what it's about, okay? Right, there you go. We've got quite a couple of nasty cracks in there, but we're down, okay? Right, so first thing you've got to do when you get your roughing gouge, because I can tell you now your roughing gouge is going to come with an absolute crack grind on it, okay? You're going to have to put a grind on. Now, what angle you decide to have is up to you. My recommendation would be this one, which is either, whichever way you want to measure it, 30 or 60. Okay, if, like I've said it before, it's very awkward, because if you do it on a if you were to cut a piece of wood at 60-degree bevel on a chop saw, you bring it right round to 60 degrees, and that would give you that cut. A 30-degree would be there, very sharp. But if you measure with a protractor like this, yeah, and we come in here and we measure this here, like that's there, okay? So that's gone down the flute, and that's there, and that's touching there, and I'm just over, nope, there it is, there's 30, okay? You can see where the 30 is. There's the 30, yeah?
Yep.
Right, a 60 on this would be there, which would be, you can see the angle that would give me, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, but like I said, if you go over onto a chop saw and you move it to 60 would be, I mean on here 60 is there, but 60 would be there, that cut, that's the way your blade would cut. So it can make it confusing for people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll give you the two, 60 or 30, but it would be on a protractor a 30-degree angle. That's very steep for a roughing gouge, but that means I can do all that sort of work. Okay, now for me, I've said before, I have all my jigs I've made up. Now I showed how to do it with a simple piece of wood like this. You just need to put a little threaded insert in so you can screw through, okay, to hold it. Now this one won't do this size chisel, okay, I didn't make it for that. I have my one, I made mine out of metal, okay. These ones, this one, I've had it a long time, okay. I made it up, this goes through here to the measurement of the protrusion. It goes onto my sharpening system, which is here, okay. That just sits over that bar, and all I do is I bring that up to the wheel and I rotate, okay. Now the beauty why I have this, and why I came up with this system, is because it doesn't matter whether I'm sharpening a big gouge like that with that length handle, or if I was sharpening a small gouge like this with this short handle, okay. I'll tighten that down. It's going to be awkward here like this. I'd normally use it on my jig. I'm not setting it at the actual angle, don't worry, I'm not sharpening nothing. Right, so I can put a small one like that in, and it goes on there, and it's exactly the same. Nothing at all changes, no measurements. I could sharpen 1,000 roughing gouges. I would never have to change any measurements here. The only thing is this measurement here that's important, and that I've given the measurements on the sharpening system that I've done. I showed the sharpening for pennies and all that, how you can make this all, the whole thing, this, everything, you can do it all out of wood, okay, for pennies. So going back and watch that video, I'm not going to give the measurements out here.
That's right.
They're all on there, okay. But this way of doing this is total foolproof. You cannot mess your grind up. You can't mess it up. If you follow what I've put on there with the grinder, I've done it on a grinder, so you don't have to have this system. It works on a grinder, it works on any wheel system that you'll have. 6-inch, 8-inch, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is not fussy, okay. So all this will do, if you make one out of wood, or if you make one out of metal, like I say, you might already have like this is like a Tormek type system, but it's not from a Tormek, it's mine. I made it all up myself, okay. This is actually in the old banjo that was with the lathe. So what I will do is I will measure this. I have my measurement here. Like I said, if you want the measurements for my grind, this gives me my 30-degree bevel. They're all on the video, okay. So that's set, that's been put into there. This will come and just sit. Now as you see, if you look at that, I haven't even put it in square. Don't have to. It doesn't matter. It can be at the site, it can be wherever. It won't matter. You haven't got to be that critical. That's why it's foolproof. You can't go wrong. So I start my machine up. Right, that sits over there. Now I showed, like I said, how to make this. If you haven't got this, you can make it out of wood. I showed how to make the pull-out slide, and I showed how to make the bit that you could just put on and screw down, and that gave you your little shelf that this can sit over. It's all on there. It's just everything you need. Right, so I put that on there, come on there, and all I have to do is rotate it like that, okay? And that's all I do, rotate it. As long as this wood stays against this and that stays against that wheel, you're going to get that grind, okay? Perfect, all the way round, nice, okay? And that is at a 30-degree bevel. Now, for the edges there, to get these to sweep down like I do, and I have it on a couple of these ones where they sweep down quite a bit. All that is when you when you rotate it, there, when you rotate it, all you do, if that's on your grinder, and I did show how you can actually use this on your lathe if you want to put a wheel on your lathe, all you do is you rotate and a little bit more, okay? And you rotate and you go a little bit further over, so you go past there and you go over like that, and that will take these edges down for you. It's as simple as that. You cannot go wrong with it. If you go wrong with it, well then you're just there's just no helping some people. There really isn't, you know, but
even when it's handed on a plate.
Right. But that is how that's done. Now I'm going to stick another piece of wood in. Now a piece like this, a piece of, but now this, as you notice, pick this piece particularly because it's got this branch bit sticking out, okay? And I'm going to pop it in between stab centers, okay? There we go. I'm going to, nice and tight, got it, ain't going nowhere. Right, that might shake a little bit, I don't know, it's out of shape. So straight away, now this is where the problem comes, because as you can see, the closest I can, because there's a little bit there, the closest I can get my tool rest really is there, okay? So I've got to take the big bits off first, and this bit, now this is where a lot of people now say use a bowl gouge and come along, because you've got this bit which is basically end grain. The grain's slightly coming the wrong way, but it's only a little branch. It's not enough to worry us, okay? So we're going to cut it exactly the same, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to use a smaller spindle gouge. I can use the same one, because you might think I'm using a smaller one because of this. I'm not. Not everyone has a 2-inch one, so I would go over I'm going to just use this size one, okay? Because this is the size a lot of people will buy, this sort of size as a roughing gouge, or you might buy this one that we just sharpened. You might buy that size roughing gouge. It's hard for me to say, but every one of them will work exactly the same, okay? So I'm just going to use this size for the moment rather than the big 2-inch one. Right, so we've got a bit of a wobble. So there's a chance that's going to give a little bit of a rattle, so I will turn the lathe down for that, just so I can see what it's doing. I'm not going to go down, I'm just going to stand there, move over to here. Yeah, nothing's going wrong, that's alright. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a, but it's alright, it's not going nowhere. Right, I've got it up there, 17, I don't like 17, we'll go to 18, we're just over 18. Now, because I've got that branch there, again, very important, handle down, and that I come this way, back, look, and just do that, just come backwards over it. Now I'm going to come here and take all this bit that's out of shape, and this bit where this knot bit is, just keep going backwards, okay? Now I'm going to stop it for a minute, and as you can see, look, straight away we've taken that branch down with there's no bang bang bang, no drama, nothing, it's gone, okay? And now that's coming into more round, so I can bring my tool rest in now. Start fraction from there. Now I can get my tool rest in, okay, and that makes it a lot easier. Now had I come on and done this anchor and bevel and done this and come across here, when I got to there, that would have been bang 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 on it, but we just went backwards. We've got the same 60 degree, it's all the same bevel. All my roughing gouges have the same bevel, okay? I step to the side because it's starting up. Now I know I'm going to just give that another little tweak, and I'm going to turn my speed up because it's all round now. I've taken away that bad bit, and now let's go backwards, and as it's come to there, now I can start going forwards, because that's all in line now. Handle, you can see where I'm cutting. If you can see where my centre is down here, and I'm up here, and this is where I'm cutting, look. Okay, I am nowhere near the centre. Centre would be down here, I'd be straight. Okay, and that's where you'll get bangs, you'll get patches, you'll get problems. Okay, here I can come up, nothing can happen. I'll just gently bring my chisel back until there's a cut, roll it over, and there's the cut. Okay, and now it's come to round. There it is, and we get beautiful shavings coming off. Now, like I said, if you've got the smaller gouge, this is the one we just sharpened. Now again, you can see I've got a gap there. Bring it in. Yes, you can carry on when you get more experience, carry on, but to me, bring it in. Nothing can go wrong. Again, here we come. This is the one we just sharpened on there with the piece of wood. Sharpen that up with a piece of wood. Look at that. Okay. Once we've got it round and we know it's round, then we can start at the end here. And we can come on here. Now, like I said, a lot of them will say when you start to come here and go this way and then go this way. And you're forever trying to blend two sides, okay? Simple one on there. Back cut all the way along and then come forward. And on roughing, yes, roughing down, you can use your finger on the rest. I don't advise you hold the rest, I don't advise a death grip, but if you put your finger just here, when you put the tool in that depth, if you hold that and just pinch it there, that will maintain that depth of cut all the way along. Okay, it maintains that, and that way you get a perfectly nice straight bit. And look at it, look. This isn't shavings, this is like rope. Okay. Yes, this is wet. This wood. It's not wet. It's part season. It's not dry. It's not dry. Okay. But then what we will get by doing that, we get this perfect sized piece. Okay. And we get this finish. Okay, you can see the finish from our roughing gouge on this piece. Okay, we didn't have to, because I dropped the sides down like this, yeah, I don't have to do this planing cut, which makes it very awkward when you're starting from this side, especially if you're right-handed, and if you're going this side again, you're round here and you do a planing cut. I don't have to. I can keep I can stand dead straight, put my finger here, just pinch. Okay, now because I've pinched it, it can't go any further forward, it can't come back as long as I keep my finger there, and all I do is I slide it along my tool rest, and there you go. That's why I like this style of tool rest. I've got one with my Axminster lathe, never used it. Okay, but this one you can run your finger along there, okay, if you want. But I don't like these. I don't use them. It came with the lathe. I keep it there. You never know. One day I might have a job where I need it, mightn't I? And I can use it. I like these tool rests, okay, and like that. I don't have to. I just, when I rotate, that's giving me that angle. And that's what I advise as spindles. Whenever you're doing spindles, a roughing gouge. Okay, so, and the bit to remember, with all your pieces, and I'm going to just do this sort of piece here, which is a piece of oak. Now I've got a big long piece here I could do. It's going to be no different to doing that piece. To be honest, I don't really want to just
waste it
in this way, so no. I don't like oak very much, so I'm going to use this piece. This piece was cut off a bit, so just to show, this is a hard piece of oak and it's a bit bigger. It's a 3-inch piece. Again, no different. Right, what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to centre this piece. Okay, so I know I've got the centre of it. Now if you're going to centre, what am I looking for?
Pencil.
That's the thing. Right.
Sharp one, hopefully.
I have got I've got a bit of lead in my pencil.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just going to put a cross across. It's not square, it's slightly off square, but if I go corner to corner, corner to corner, that will give me my centre there. Okay, and I'll just quickly do that on both sides, because we're going up in size now. It's not just those small pieces of wood. Okay, now as I said, sharpening wise, I've gone through. I do recommend a CBM wheel for all sharpening, but you're going to need some sort of sharpening system if you want to use traditional tools. Okay, if you've not got anything, then basically just don't buy traditional tools, because you're not going to be able to sharpen them.
The minute you buy them, you've got to sharpen them.
You've got to sharpen them before you even use them when you buy them. Now, something I will say, if you're starting out and you're what tools to buy, like I said, for me, if I had to go and buy myself a new spindle gouge tomorrow, I'd buy Record Power. They are absolutely the best value for money out there, and as good as any other chisel. This is a Record Power. This is a Record Power one here. It's in my handle. I don't like other. I take them out. I've explained that before. That's a Record Power one. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so smooth, that steel. It's been well finished and it's lovely. And that's what I read for their price. And they hold their edge as long as any others. Okay. And I've got all the. I've got you know what I've got. All the different grades. So that's what I Record Power. They are very good tools for the money. You're getting a lot for your money. You really are. And I'm not in any way sponsored up Record Powers in any way at all. No. Okay. And anyone thinking of buying their new Victory Chuck and Jaws versus Jaws, but anyway, I'm not getting into that. Right, that's going to hit. So just back that off a little bit. Right. Okay. So it's nice and square. I've centered. I've got it between my two centers. Okay. Now, for me, I have every confidence in what speed I'm turning it. But if you're going to start turning, you know, if you can turn your speed down a little bit, turn it down a bit. If you can't, then you can start. But I'm going to do both here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up. I'm going to step over here. Now, I know everything's going. I'm going to move my control box down like you would have to. Right, I'm going to start turning up and see what I can go. Right, I'm at 1800. I'm at 2000. Nothing's going anywhere. 2300. 2400. 2500. Now, let me just get it to where I like it. Right, 2509 it's saying. There you go. Right, I'm going to stop that. That's where I would be cutting a square blank like this at. Okay, that speed would help me no end. Now, because I know it's all safe, I would basically start my lathe at that and be happy too. But what you've got to do, you've got to make sure you've got nothing loose, nothing can fall off, nothing like this. If you've got anything on your lathe, make sure it can't come off and hit the piece. If this was to bounce off, hit that, it could come back, it would do you some damage. Mine's nicely magneted on 2 magnets. Okay, right, my tool, I'm not hitting my tool rest, everything's tightened down. This is all tight, that's tightened in. I'm between 2 step centers, prongs are dug in. As far as I'm concerned, I'm good to go. Okay, and I'm going to just get my roughing gouge. Now, my go-to for this sort of work would always be buy as big a roughing gouge as you can. Okay, that's all I can recommend for you. Right, so again, this piece of oak is hard. It's not wet wood, it is bone dry. It's a very hard piece of oak. Okay, and we're going to do it exactly the same. So I'm going to start it up, I'm going to step to here, I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go backwards and forward. And as you can see, my hold, everything is exactly the same. Okay, the handle is just basically, it's just brush it. I can't do anything. I'm not going to turn with my arms like this. I want that little bit of control. It's just there by my body, but I'm not I'm not holding it against my body, okay? My hold is exactly the same. And very quickly, like I said, I'm up here. There's no bang, bang, banging. There's nothing like that. I'm here. As I put my hand here, and all I do is I'm putting a little bit of pressure here. But I'm cutting here, on this edge here, where it's sloping, and my handle's down, my cutter's up. If anything was to bang that, it would just come away, okay? It won't go like that. Now, as I go through, and I start to get to, I know by the shavings that are coming off how thick they start to get. I won't get ribbons on this. I'm going to move the tool rest in because it's getting too far away. Close as you can get it, you don't want anything to fit between there, right? And when you get it as close as that, you've got to actually drop your handle even more. So if that was to catch, it would go boom, and that would be it. Nothing, no drama, no danger. Okay. Now as the shavings, the bit coming off gets thicker, wider, that tells me that I'm getting smoother, and I am. I'm not round yet, but it's getting smoother. So then I'm not worried about chips coming at me, so I'll drop my hand down a little bit. I'll put it here, and all I do is come along like this, and I can sort of more or less see what the shavings are doing. Now I'm getting smooth. I can tell just by looking at the shavings. Now they're going to be like this because it's a very, very dry wood. So now I've got it round. Now again, I want to do that little finish, so I'll put my finger there. I've just pinched here, so I'm just holding like this basically, finger against the rest. And that gives me my perfect cylinder shape, perfect size, and this is a very dry oak. Let me move this away. Okay, so I'll get a perfect cylinder, same end, same width either end, and we've got that finish. Okay, and you can see how quickly that went from square down to round. Okay, no problem. Now, the one thing I will say, that all this work and everything you will do with a spindle roughing gouge, I don't call it a spindle roughing gouge, I just call it a roughing gouge, okay? Everything you will do with a roughing gouge is when the grain, and you know the grain, that this is the way the grain's running, okay? That would have been the tree, it would be growing up that way. All the time, it's that way, you can use one of these. You ever turn it that way, you do not use one of these. It's as simple as that, okay? Just don't do it, all right? It's just not worth it. Now, these are all nice. They're all nice square blanks. They're all nice square cut at the ends, okay? So what about when we come up against something like this, okay? And we want to make this into maybe a hollow form. We want it as a spindle. We're not putting it on like this to turn as a bowl. We want it as a spindle. Right, now we've got a problem. We've got a sort of square. I wax these ends and all that, so don't worry. Right, we've got a fairly square end here, but here we've got quite a slope, okay? So now the problem with that, if I put this between centres, and I'm going to do it here, mark the centre so I can sort of roughly find a centre on here, which is about there, right? And I put this on centre here. Right, now as you see there, straight away all those prongs have dug in, okay? But it's not a perfect face. Now on this side, this will come up, right? You can see here they're only just touching, and I'm here.
Yeah.
Right, now the thing with that, with spindle turning, if there's the slightest of catching or slightest bit of movement, because this has got a slope going down that way, once it moves that bit, then it will come out. Boff, it can come straight out there, yeah. Okay, this is when you would, a lot of people, for that, would tend to go for a 4-prong drive, or one of, well, I've got, so let me pull that out, like a 4-prong drive. You might have one like that. Okay, you'll put that on there and you'll bang that in. Problem with that, on a surface like this, you're still only actually going to get probably 3 prongs going in. Right, so with something like this, I mean, I've got these 4-prong ones, nice small ones. Yes, I could probably tighten that up and get that to all 4 to bed in. But again, I'm going to have to wind that in really tight. Easiest way, okay? With something like this, you want to be safe. Right, these here are 16mm. These ends here, right? I think they're just under 16 on the step centers. We've got different size ones. Like I said, that's a smaller one, but I'm going with these, which are the normal mid size. What they'd say is, I think it's their 1/2 inch ones, but they're not actually 1/2 inch. They're nearer to this bit here. Is nearer to whatever I said it was, 16mm. Right. So I've got a 16mm drill bit. Okay, just a normal drill bit. You can use whatever drill bit you want. Okay, because now easiest way would be to take this over to your bandsaw, wouldn't it, and square the ends up nice and square, get them nice and safe. Not everyone's got a bandsaw. Not everyone's got a bandsaw that can cut that size, and then you've got the problem of this is round, and you're going to be wanting to push that through, so you're going to need jigs and things like that. It's a lot of messing about. It's a very, very simple way with that, and all we're going to do is we're going to drill a small hole. Now, someone did make a comment on one of the other videos about why don't I retire my old NiCad drill and get right. Reason being, this drill is probably around 30 years old now. I've had this, okay, and I did have 2 of them, and I did have, I think, 5 batteries, but one of them went and not broke, it just, I lost it for whatever reasons, and I didn't have the batteries. I had a new battery for it, but I haven't been able to get any more batteries for this, or new batteries, and I've had it for that long, and that battery still charges up, it holds a charge, and it works perfect. Why the hell would I get rid of it? It's done me good. Yeah. I've got other drills, don't worry. I've got
so many
lithium ones and all that. Right, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this on where that centre is, okay, and it's going to be with this type of drill bit. What I might do is
with the
just
wax in it.
With the wax as well, it's slipping a little bit. So I've got a little bradawl here. So get on that centre there, and I'm going to give that a little whack just to put a little hole there, just to help with it not slipping. Hopefully it won't slip at all. And then what I'm going to do is probably get a big drill bit. Right. That's all I'm going to do. That just go very hard end grain. Right, that little bit, because you're going to have to square this end up anyway, and when you square that up, you're going to get rid of that hole. So there we go, that nice little hole like that. Yeah. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to do exactly the same here. Might as well. Why not? We want to be safe, don't we? So why not do whatever we can do to be safe? Safety is always the important thing, especially when you've got stuff like this. Now, I've drilled that in that little bit. It's only a little way. You can use that. You can use a Forstner bit if you want. Forstner bits can tend to skid a little bit. Brad point bit would be better. I haven't got a Brad point. I have got a Brad point bit, but it's bigger than this. It's a 20mm, I think. I wanted just 16 to go in here. So make those 2 little holes. I'm going to have a little drop of coffee. Right. Okay. So now, well, I've got my slopey head end there. Now that, see that centre there? Now it's gone inside. And now this one has gone inside there. Now I tighten up. And that's why I put it on first, to get rough centre. So I know it's going to be centred. I drill those holes, right? Now, that's tight. That's tight. Tight, lock that off. That's gone inside there, and that's gone inside there. There is no way I'm going to get that off. If I put a strap around that and unbolt with my lathe, I'll be able to lift that up. Not me.
No.
Well,
But
probably could, yeah. Right, anyway, now we've got some very gnarly bits and all that, okay? Majority of people, this would be, again, bolt gouge. Come along with a bolt gouge. That's what they would do. But we are going to do exactly the same and use our roughing gouge because this is a spindle. Now, I've got that bit there that is bigger, it's wider this end, okay? So we're going to concentrate on getting rid of this first so we can get it all level, then get our tool rest in a bit. Now, what we've got to be careful on here is bits of bark that could fly off. There's not, look, they're all soft, they're not big pieces. We've got a bit here where there was a trunk bit coming out, so we're going to remember that we are not going to come forward. We are going to make sure we go backwards until all these nasty bits have gone, okay? And we're going to do no different. Tool rest is all locked down, everything's locked up, everything's good. Now, my tool rest I have set so that I would be slightly above center, okay? When I come in there, I would be just on or slightly above, but because of the angle of my bevel, it means I have to present my tool down here, and you can see the distance here, the drop of my handle. So if, like, I come here and this piece was to hit, look, you can see where the tool goes, it pushes the tool backwards. If the tool's here, it will
chomp it.
It will take it that way. Okay, so it's the difference between pushing the tool backwards like that or taking the tool that way. I don't want this to have any chance, because this has got a lot of leverage. I don't want that to have the chance to pull me down there. I want to come here, and what I want is this to come down, and you can actually see it, how it's going to come down, and this is good. Look, that's what my tool's going to do. See that?
Yeah.
That's what my tool's going to do. And the reason, if I come here like this and I go and I raise my handle and I'm here, look what happens.
Jam, isn't it?
Right? So that's going to be bang, 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 and I'm going to be here going bang, bang, bang. With this here, because I've got the corners rolled, it just slices. It will slice. Okay? Every time, look, it just slices it, and it slices off with no catching, no bangs, no nothing. It's a bit like skew cutting, really. That's what it's like. But as I said, we want to be careful. If we go backwards, when we come onto it, we hit here. We cut back. If we come forward, there's a chance that that will hook under that and probably chuck that whole piece off in one go. It'll go flick off.
Yeah.
You don't want big bits like that coming off. Now, this obviously, the size of the piece, I'm going to have to turn it down, okay? Because it's a big piece. I think it's going to be quite out of balance until I get it in. So we will have to start off slow. We can't just fire it up and have everything bouncing all over the place. So again, I will move my control. Now if you can't move your control, then you just have to make sure you get it. Well, I'll leave it here actually, because if you can't move your controls, you're going to have to start it with it there. But what I would say is you turn it low, turn it on, and step aside. Right, that is at 1000 RPM, right? Because a lot of lathes won't go down to the 0, so I'm starting 1000 RPM. Now if it had gone brrr, okay, I'll turn it off. It can't go anywhere, okay? But that is too slow as far as I'm concerned to start turning. So I'm going to go up a little bit. I'm going to stand over here, so if any bits fly off, I'm not worried about the piece coming off, it's any bits that might fly off. Right, there's a bit of rocking, okay? Now most people would go back down. Not the way to go. There's the rocking, go up a bit. And it's gone. So now we're at 15. Quite a big piece. 16 and a half. Right. That's good. I'm going to just make a couple of little cuts with it at 16 and a half. Okay. Handle right down. Come in. There we go. Look. Now this is there's that bit. Did you hear it go? Brrr, right. This is a big piece of wood, but I want you to see how light I have to hold my tool. Look. Okay. There is no back. Look, it's not even on my body. It's not on my body at all. Can you see? I'm holding my tool here like this. Look, not my body. Okay, I can come along here and do all this. No banging. Removing nice bits of wood. Okay, there's that bit. You can feel it. Right, my handle's dropped so I can't get in trouble. I'm going backwards over it. I'm going to come down to the end. Get that off. Okay, now I'm getting that gap. I'm going to move it in a little bit. There, it's not touching. Move it really nice and slow, looking at the gap. Make sure you don't just ram it in. Nice and slow. Now, I've removed some of the wobbly bits, so we're going to go up a little bit more. Right, it's a spindle. I can turn it a lot faster. 1850. Right, so I'm in again, nice and light and gentle. Don't do this. If something goes bang, you're holding here, disaster. Nice and light, something goes bang, it just pushed me away. Right, look, I'm not cut, I'm just going to start to cut. Look at the angle of the tool. You need to see the angle. Right down here, look at this, right? The wood is coming round onto this edge. I do not want to be on this full front edge taking 25mm of wood off in one go. We're not wanting that. We can remove this fast enough just here and safely and comfortably. Right, now I've already gone over that a few times, so I know I can go backwards and forwards. And you'll just see the shavings start to get bigger. And now we're starting to get more continuous. We're not getting the bits and bits and bits, we're getting more continuous streams. Look, we're getting continuous shavings, which tells me I'm getting it to round. But I know with this piece of wood, it's absolute crap. It's got these big holes. Now this is where I think it was grabbed and pulled through for cutting. Or pulled out, I don't know what it was. It's something gripped it and it's got it on bait, and it was a real shame because they go in quite deep and this is quite nice wood. But if you look here, you can see how quickly that's come to round and smooth. We've got a beautiful smooth finish. Okay, shame we've got these, but don't worry about that, we'll turn that down. Right, now again we're out a bit, so we come in that little bit closer. Okay, and like I said, see, we've been nice and close, tool rest up nice and high, and we come in here with a nice steep bevel. This is where we're cutting here, and look, it is just so easy. Okay, we can just shave it away, and that's what we're doing when we're turning. So there's no stress on me. Okay, and if I rotate a little bit on that edge there, look, okay, there is no stress. The tool can't pull down at all, it just cuts every time it cuts. But if we do an anchor and a bevel, and we've got a 45-degree bevel, we come here, this is where it gets. And when you get one of these, if you get a catch, that comes up. Okay, and if you get any distance here and you get that catch, then this comes right up, and that's your disaster. Okay,
And then you blame the town.
right, so we're going to start up again. Nothing's changed, so I know it's okay to start at the speed. I'm going to take it up a bit more because it's all nice and round. I'm up at 2000, that's just starting to rattle. Right, I'm bang on. Well, it's saying 1999, 2099, 2000, it's bang on 2000 RPM. Okay, there's the handle down there. Here I come again. But even though I've done the cuts, there's more control if you go backwards first. Start your cut going backwards, then come forward. Okay, now that's where I stand with roughing gouge. Now we have always got the side, because I have shown these, of sweeping our tool back and making it like this. Now a lot of people, like I said,
Sorry, it's amazing.
hang on, a lot of people, like I've said, would go over to using a roughing gouge for these sort of pieces, and they will do this and come along here with their roughing gouge, okay? And yes, I mean, you can see there, we can get nice, and that's how it should be, is there. A lot of people tend to do this, and then you're getting more of a scrape, but yeah, they'd use a roughing bowl gouge, thinking you're getting something better, more control. It is over your standard ground roughing gouge, but you've just seen what the roughing gouge can do. But again, with that, because of the sizes that bowl gouges go, you're limited on how much wood you can remove off, and how fast, unless you push in a lot deeper. Now with this is just standard. I've shown you I've got all different size ones. Pretty much my go-to sizes would be these two, which this is a inch and a bit, and this one is a what they'd call a 3/4 inch, but it's actually an inch shaft, 3/4 inch there, and this one is a bit, this is like an inch and a quarter. So they're my sort of go-to sizes that I would use, okay? And what that gives me is this lovely long wing here, okay? And the beauty with doing it on a roughing gouge is when it's ground back, is it makes the flute more shallow. It shallows the flute down like a spindle gouge, because a bowl gouge has such a deep flute. And that's where you will get into trouble when you do things like this and get catches, because that flute, you've still got this height of a wing, and when you come here, if that wing digs in, that just keeps going, that will give you an almighty catch, and that's when you'll get catches when you're trying to use a bowl gouge for it. So what you will do, rather than being here where that would give you a nice slice, okay, and you'll get these sort of things, what you'll do is you'll tend to roll it over a bit more so it can't dig in, and then you're going more as a scrape. And yes, you'll get these nice shavings, and you'll think you're getting beautiful shavings, and by the time you've done that, your tool's blunt and you've got to go and sharpen it again, okay? And we don't want to be doing that, because you just paid out for that tool. So I've got the two sizes. I'm going to start with this, the small one. Remember, it shallows our flute down, lovely. And with this, it's the same, handles drop right down. And all I do is I come in here, okay, and it's that slice, and shavings just fly off, okay. But with this, because of where it is, how the flute is, I've got actually bevel control there. Look, the bevel's in control, and because I've got my handle down and this edge coming down like this, there's no catching, and it just slices it, and you can just slice, there you go, and you'll get these lovely shavings. Now that's like my small one, my go-to on my small one. This one is the one, and this is actually the one Crown gave me, okay. Their handle's gone, I don't like the handles, and again it's just slightly bigger, so again we come in here. Now we come along like so. Now we're getting beautiful big shavings come off like this, and look, you can rotate. The more you rotate, the sort of more aggressive it will get, okay. There you go. Now again, can I come backwards? Yes I can. But what you'll find with this one will want to run fast backwards. So it's not ideal for going backwards. This is one that you do come forwards with. Okay? And that's what we do. My preference when I'm on pieces of this sort of size is always the other these roughing gouges. And even if it's a small one like this, doesn't matter. With this size of wood, we come on, we go backwards,
and we come forward. Okay, and for our finished cut, we put our finger there, we come up till we make contact, we pinch it so it can't move, and we come along. If you come along like this, you pinch it and you come along, you get there and look, it stops cutting. Don't be tempted to push the tool in to make it cut, because what it is that's where you got a slight dip. So what you're going to do is you're going to come along, it's going to stop cutting, and then it's going to start cutting more. Okay, but what that's done is giving you a perfectly straight edge, because you've gone over where there was a slight dip. Okay, so when you come along and you'll see it's looking like it's stopping cutting, because you've got it pinched, you're pinching it like that, it's going to get to here. If it's got a little dip, it's going to stop cutting. Don't follow the wood and go in. It takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, you get used to it. What you've got to do is come along, it stops cutting, keep going, now it starts cutting again. And now you've taken the two sides down either side of the dip, and now you've got a lovely straight piece. And that's how you'll get nice straight pieces. If you go in, you could turn that down to time you get to that, you will still have that dip, because every time you go along, you're going to follow in that dip. Okay, and that's the problem you can have when you do it with things like bowl gouges and tools where you're pulling like this, because you're trying to use a bevel, and the bevel will keep going in and in and in, and it will just follow whatever marks there. Okay, but these tools can be very good, they're very catch proof. You come on here and literally it just, you can see it just slices the wood. It just loves wood, these tools. And that's the bevel in contact. There's the bevel. Okay, but we don't lift our handle. There's the bevel. All we do is we rotate it, and as soon as we rotate it, it actually picks up the cut. Okay, and that is it. Now, yes, we've swept it back for a fingernail grind. Okay, that does not make it a bowl gouge. Okay, can I use it on a bowl? I can, but that doesn't mean you can. All I'd say there, try it, find out for yourself. Okay, I'm not going to say don't do this and do that and do that. No, it's the problem with bowl gouges, like roughing gouges, when you use them on bowls, is they will take too much wood. They will grab in, they're too big a cutting edge. When you've narrowed it down, you've taken all that away and you've got there and you're not overhanging, then this will act no different to a spindle gouge or a bowl gouge. Okay, but you don't have the length at all. I would not ever recommend hanging it over. It is literally half an inch. If you go more than half an inch, you're too far away. Okay, I wouldn't even get up to half an inch. Quarter of an inch is enough. Keep your tool rest there, you'll never have a problem. But these are roughing gouges are for this spindle work. When you're doing bowls, you've seen the other tools are for that. Okay, yes, you've got to buy all the different tools. Yes, they are expensive, but it's like anything. If you're going to take up golf, you've got to go and buy clubs. When you buy your clubs, you're going to have to get a golf bag, aren't you? Yes, they're very expensive, but if you're going to play golf, you don't want to be walking around and picking with your clubs in a Tesco bags, do you? Let's face it. You know, you've got to buy one. That's all part of it. If you can't afford to buy the stuff, then I'm afraid the answer is don't get into something you can't afford to do. And it's as simple as that. Because by going very budget, you're going to have an accident. You're going to cut corners and you're going to cause yourself a problem. But that's how I rough something down that's got this. Okay, I would have then put a tenon on here, swung it in, put it into a chuck, then I can face that off. I can put a tenon there, swing it round, and I can face that end off. If I did, if not, that's the tenon there, that would be lost at the end. I face that off, hollow that out, nice hollow form, whatever you want, job done. Right, that is it, guys. You've taken up enough of my time. Turn up when you feel like it. Don't worry about me. Uninvited. Right. Okay, guys, I hope that's helped. Just a little bit about roughing gouges. And for the sharpening, it really is. That is somewhere where you can do it for pennies. You really can. Once you've got your grinder you've got it. You can do it on the stone and stuff. Certain tools. Now, like I've said before, if you've got any of the cryogenic ones and things like that, the metal contains carbide in it. If you try and do it on stone, it will smash the carbides out. Okay, you have to have diamond or CBM wheels to sharpen them on. Simple as that. Or a diamond belt or whatever if you want to go down that stupid road. That's up to you. Right, that is it. Okay, I'll see you on the next one, guys. So hope it's helped. Any questions, put them in. Now, very quickly, I don't know what's happened with YouTube because I'm not getting any notification. I normally get an email to say so blah 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 has made a comment, okay, and then I know someone's made a comment and I can go. I'm not getting any emails through. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's YouTube. If anyone else is getting that, if you could let me know if you're on YouTube. I don't know what it is, and I've gone through all my settings and I can't find anything that's changed for that or to do with it, but I'm not getting any notifications. And because I've got so many videos, I know if you've made a comment on the last 2 or 3 videos, but if it's back 10 videos ago, I don't know, because I don't know how many comments are on it. I'm not going to notice another comment.
Even
so
after the last,
if I don't, I mean, it's got positives and negatives. The negative is that I might not always see that you've made a comment and things like that. The positive is I have to put up with all the arseholes, do I? Because I don't see what they're writing. It don't bother you, does it? It don't matter. I haven't got to waste my time deleting their messages because I don't know it's there.
Yeah.
You know, so there you go. Maybe YouTube thought, yeah, you're right, mate. All these arseholes are going to let you know they're there.
Exactly.
There you go. Right.
So if you actually email us, if you know the answer, email us with the answer, because
yeah, if you put it on a comment, I won't see it on a comment. So if you drop me an email, or if you put it on this video, then I'll know because I'll see the comments on this video. It's a recent one,
yeah, recent video.
So right, that's it, guys. That's pretty much a bit of roughing down for spindles. So if you're doing it, like I said, it's to be able to do it safely, no catches, and not be frightened. Big pieces, you can have big pieces. It doesn't matter how big that comes, it's exactly the same. Okay, the bigger the piece, the more force it has. That's the thing. When it comes round, it's got more force to it. But if you cut with the bevel and the angle and you hold the tool the way I showed you, you don't notice no different. No forces whatsoever. That force only comes in when it gets you in that position and it pulls it down. That force, you won't combat that force. There is so much energy there, it's unbelievable. It's only when it goes wrong that you suddenly realise, and it's how quick it goes wrong. It's astounding. But big pieces, even pieces like this, and you saw the shape that it was in. It's quite a heavy piece. Okay, it's not wet, but it's not dry. It's that middle of the road stuff. And you saw that what that was like, and we just came in with virtually hardly holding our tool. We're just light and gentle, and we can come along. Everything's controlled. But get a catch, it just goes ding. If you grab hold of it, you get a catch. You know about it. That if I've got a catch, I wouldn't even know it. Just go. That's it. There you go. And obviously you get that finish look like that. Okay. That's the finish that pisses everyone off and gets them to make their comments they make to me because they can't do it. There you go. Right, okay guys, I'll see you on the next one. Toodle pip.
Bye guys.